My friends, I want to ask you something slightly uncomfortable. Think about how you grew up, about what your family taught you about money. Money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. Find a safe job, keep your head down, and work hard. Sound familiar? Now think about this. Those beliefs planted in you when you were too young to question them are still running your financial life today, quietly, automatically, without your permission. More than 25 years ago, Robert Kiyosaki wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it remains one of the most widely read finance books in the world. Why? Because it didn't teach accounting. It exposed something far more powerful. Two completely different ways people think about money. Today, I'm going to lay both of them out honestly and clearly. And as you listen, ask yourself one simple question. Which one am I? 1. The poor dad mindset. Poor dad, and I say this with deep respect, is not a bad person. He's hardworking, responsible, and well-intentioned, but his relationship with money quietly holds him back in ways he never fully sees. Poor dad believes that a good education leads to a good job, and a good job leads to security. So he follows that path. He works hard, earns a salary, pays his bills, and spends what's left. Month after month, year after year, he sees his home as his biggest asset. He buys cars and possessions to look successful. He says, I can't afford it, and never asks, how could I afford it? That small difference in language reflects a massive difference in thinking. The most important truth is this: poor dad works for money. His income depends entirely on continued labor. When he stops working, the money stops too. He's built a life, but not a machine. And without a machine working for him, he's always just one bad month away from financial stress. 2. The rich dad mindset. Rich dad thinks differently from the ground up. Rich dad never works for money. He makes money work for him. He doesn't ask, how much does it pay? He asks, what does it return? He sees every dollar not as something to spend, but as an employee to deploy. Rich dad understands the distinction that changes everything. Assets versus liabilities. Assets put money into your pocket. Liabilities take money out. A home that doesn't generate income is a liability. Dividend stocks, rental property, a business, those are assets. Rich dad thinks differently about taxes too. He structures income legally and intelligently. He uses companies, depreciation, and reinvestment not to cheat the system, but because he understands it deeply. And rich dad is not afraid of failure. Every financial mistake is simply tuition paid for a lesson. He reads, studies, asks questions, and surrounds himself with people who challenge his thinking. He's always learning, because the moment you stop learning, you start falling behind. 3. The hard truth. Most of us were raised with the poor dad mindset. Not because our parents failed us, but because they taught what they knew, and what they knew came from a system designed to create employees, not investors. School teaches you how to get a job. It doesn't teach you how money works, how assets are built, or how compound growth can change your life. That gap in education isn't your fault, but staying in it is a choice. The rich dad mindset isn't reserved for the privileged. Kiyosaki himself wasn't born wealthy. This mindset is available to anyone willing to question what they were taught and replace it with something better. 4. How do you make the shift? Do 3 things. First, change your language. Stop saying, I can't afford it. Start asking, how could I afford it? That question activates your mind instead of shutting it down. Small change, massive impact. Second, start building assets. Now, small is fine. A dividend stock, an index fund, a side income stream. Every asset, no matter how small, is a vote for the rich dad side of your life. Build the habit before you build the wealth. Third, invest relentlessly in financial education. Read, watch, study. The return on financial knowledge is the highest return available. One well-understood idea can be worth years of salary. My friends, I spoke to you directly. Right now, in this moment, you're either moving toward the rich dad mindset or staying comfortably in the poor dad mindset. There is no middle ground. Every day without strategy widens the gap. Don't let that gap grow. The rich dad mindset doesn't guarantee overnight wealth, but it guarantees something far more valuable: direction, a framework, a way of seeing money that compounds over time. Choose your mindset consciously, because whether you realize it or not, you already have one. Like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs it, because sometimes the right idea heard at the right moment changes everything. See you in the next video. Take care of yourself and take care of your money.